Hi, this is Vicki with Learning Home Volunteers. Welcome back to our learning session about animals. This week we are going to be mostly engaged with giraffes. They are the tallest mammal in our world, and they have very long, elegant necks and very long tongues that they can actually curl around a leaf and pull it off the tree. Amazing. In your box, you're going to find a bag, actually a bunch of cardboard pieces marked number 8. And we've actually provided a number of giraffes actually painted on cardboard. All the giraffes look the same and they have no spots whatsoever. So this is a game that you can play uh, to allow your child to work on different mathematics skills associated with numbers. You can play it a number of different ways. You could put the card in front of you, ask them to put the same number of spots that you put down in front of yourself. Or you could put the counters in front of you and ask them to do it more than what you have or less than what you have. If your child is actually working on print number recognition, you can ask them to make the same number of spots on the giraffe as you are showing with your matching written print number that you're actually showing with your cards. You can use the cards and have them do thumb prints dipped in paint and have them make a certain number of dots on each giraffe. The giraffes are adorable, and I'm sure that now that you have your own herd, that your child will have fun playing with them. Uh, we'll post up some ideas if you actually want them to be able to stand in class tag. This is activity number 10. We're actually going to play some games that illustrate some of the giraffe problems. For our first game, you're going to need a cup and a straw, which are both in the number 10. And what you want to do is put a cup on the ground filled with water, and then with their legs far apart and bending from the waist, they're supposed to see if they can drink from the cup. No bending of the arms or legs because giraffes can't do that. And our next game involves a in your box as well. They're going to play limbo, but giraffe style. Instead of bending backwards underneath the bar, which giraffes can't do, they must bend forward without bending their knees to get underneath the tube. Oh, and no touching the ground with your hands. So how low can you go? This is activity number 11, me versus the giraffe. Measuring is such an important topic. We measure every day distance to the store, how long something cooks, how much sugar to put on the cake, how much something costs, how many carrots go in the soup. Children at this age are really starting to learn about these concepts. The easiest way to excite a child about measuring is in the form of comparison. So we are going to compare a giraffe's attributes to your child's attributes. On the left-hand corner column is a set of questions either in Spanish or in English for your child, and we have answered for you all of the attributes for the giraffe on the far right-hand corner. This exercise allows you and your child to practice measuring using your non-conventional measuring devices. You can either use the cardboard piece that we provided in your teacher's kit, or you can make a tower of Unifix cubes and measure with that. This gives us a great opportunity also to discuss things like time and help them mark time, either with a timer on your phone or a kitchen timer that you might use when you're baking to keep track of how long they sleep. We can create a recording system for them to mark on a piece of paper for every time they drink a whole glass of water and compare that to what the giraffe actually drinks. And for speed, giraffes can actually run 31 miles per hour, which is amazing, which is 45 seconds per second. How many feet can your child run in a second? And then compare. I ran. It was embarrassing. I could only run 3 feet per second. Sad, really. But I'm sure your children will be much faster than I was and probably be able to do that better than me. We hope you and your child enjoy all of these different types of measuring. I think it's a great activity and such a great creature to actually to compare ourselves with. This is activity number 12, mosaics, snakes. In your box, you're going to find a cardboard snake and a bag of paper squares, some really tiny and some much bigger. And for this activity, you're going to need a glue stick. You want to put the pieces of paper out on the table, let the child pick them up and adhere those pieces to make beautiful snake scale patterns like we see in this one. Picking up those little pieces of paper and manipulating them to put onto the cardboard is a great fine motor activity, and we can't wait to see what your snake looks like. If your child is having problems kind of gluing, you can have them glue the back of the piece of paper first and then put it onto the snake. They might find that a little bit easier. This is activity number 13, and we've actually included two sets of cards with a bunch of different kinds of snakes. When you're playing a matching game, it is really helping to build their working memory. Working memory is the amount of information that can be stored in your brain while you're actively working on a problem. For children between 2 and 5, the younger group could probably handle a total of 6 face down cards. The olders might be able to handle a grid like this that we see that's 6 by 4 or 24 items, 12 different pairs. What you do is take the cards and put them in the grid face down. And for each turn the child takes, they turn over 2 tiles. If they match, they can keep the tiles. If they do not match, they need to turn them back over so you can't see the picture, and then the next person goes. This process works until all pairs are actually found. So we've included 2 sets of different kinds of snakes. You should check to make sure before you start that you have all the pairs, and then remove any pairs that you're not going to be using to play in case you want to reduce the number of the grid, the actual size of the grid. So shuffle them face down and then put them into the grid of tiles, and then play can begin. Well, this ends our session on animals. We hope that you and your child enjoyed learning about our 3 special animals. Our next learning session is all about winter.